And we are live to YouTube, I think. Here we go. I don't know why I'm talking so softly. Hey, everybody, we'll be starting the show here in about 30 seconds. Yeah, we are live on there.
Oh. Here we go. Should I be hearing you, Gabe? 'Cause I'm not.
Yes, you should. Let me see if... Oh, I bet the guess before you unplug the headphones. 1 second.
Why would they do that?
She brings her own headphones, like earbuds. God, that's exactly what happened.
There we go.
Okay, got it.
All right.
Click on screen.
I will do this to X.
I don't see it yet.
Which one don't you see?
I'm on our YouTube.
YouTube seems to be a pain in the ass to get to show up, but it's definitely up. I know that because I saw it, but let's see.
Oh, here it is. Got it.
Okay. And am I good to start the commercial?
Give me 5 seconds.
Javier, during this 5 seconds, do you have anything you want to talk about?
No.
Okay. Do you have something to promote this week, by the way? That you want?
I'm on Almanac with this friend.
Okay. I always forget to ask you about moth stuff, like to put on screen.
When am I next hosting?
Well, next time, let me know next time.
I think not for a while.
Why would you do?
No, nothing. We just rotate.
Okay. When you do it, do you have like one story that you hone, or are you always doing a different one each week?
Well, so I host. So sometimes I'll after the intermission, the host will tell a story. I started doing that. Then all three hosts started doing that. But I don't. But it depends on time. Like if we're running slow, I don't do one. I just riff between. We have slips of paper that we ask the audience a question, and I read them in between while the judges are telling their scores. So basically, I do improvised stand up.
Yeah. When you tell stories, are you doing them? Are some funny stories, some serious? Or are they always a mix, or what?
No, yeah, it's a mix.
Okay.
It's a mix. I think the best stories are both.
Yeah. No, I would agree. I think the best stories are Brian's stories, personally.
Yeah. I mean, if you like racism, sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Casual racism.
It's charming. It's a charming brand
charming.
of...
Not better.
All right, I'm ready whenever.
Okay.
I got a matching tie.
I want to talk about that jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was a nice
That
jacket.
was a cool jacket.
All right, here we go.
Support for Wrong About Everything comes from Minnesota's credit unions. Credit unions are locally based, member-owned financial cooperatives that return earnings to members through higher savings rates, lower loan rates, and reduced fees. Visit mncun.org for more information.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Wrong About Everything podcast. I am GOP strategist and Twin City Sugar, Brian McDaniel.
I am Democratic strategist and the Puerto Rican heat, Javier Murillo.
And we are
Wrong about everything. With no ladies.
No ladies today.
It's the He-Man Woman Haters Club. No, that's the GOP.
I think we said that a couple episodes ago, and then I sang the song He-Man Woman Haters by Extreme, and Justin Bell gave me credit for knowing the hook.
I did not know that was a song even.
Sooner or later, you'll be a He-Man woman hater. It's inevitable. That's it.
Cool.
Yeah. You can see why it's
Trump should do his little jack-off dance to it. Yeah. Did you see they made an NFT of that? Like he made these NFTs. Like, first of all, who's talking about NFTs anymore?
I forgot that they were a thing.
And you buy 15 NFTs, and you will be rewarded with one physical card.
I don't even know what any of that means.
Yeah, no, a trading card, like a baseball card. But the picture is of Trump doing his little like YMCA dance, which
Yeah.
looks like he's
Yeah.
jerking two guys off. Sorry if you're listening with kids, but they got to learn. And so there's an NFT of that, except like they put like explosives in his hands or something, like because it looks like there's explosions happening behind him.
Yay.
Yeah.
That's,
Anyway.
Hey, you know what? That's how you get the electorate.
Yeah.
Fake explosions.
Well,
Well, Amy's not here.
where is Amy?
Amy, well, she came back from the Olympics.
Yeah, she was in
France.
France.
She was in France just to be in France.
I love how she came back. Remember, did you catch when she came back? She's like, "That's so beautiful, southern France. It's now my favorite part of France." It's like, bitch. And now it's your favorite part of France because you go there every weekend? What are you talking about?
Insufferable. But no, now she's in New York City for the U.S. Open. Just eating like strawberries and cream and $25 drinks.
Oh, she's gone full cake eater. She moved to Edina and now she goes to...
Her mail's probably not even forwarded yet.
Yeah.
That's how long she's been in Edina.
And she's already attending the U.S. Open. Why? Like, does she know someone? Like, who plays? Why is she...
No.
Like,
she's a fan.
nah.
I guess. I don't know. But anyway, welcome to the Minnesota Credit Union Network studios, deep within the recesses of MBC Studios here in Northeast Minneapolis. We have Gabe Noah running the board for us today, and it's going to be maybe a shorter episode today, just the two of us.
No.
No,
Let's go long.
I got nothing to say. Be the Javier Murillo show, everybody.
I got lots to say.
I know all of my family would just as soon just listen to you. So,
Well, good.
yeah, they don't know you well enough yet, but they're enamored.
Hey,
Jenny's family, and they listen on and off, but a couple of the family members who hadn't been kind of continual listeners have made sure that I know that Javier is right about everything.
Oh, that's nice of them. Well, what are their names?
Huh?
What are their names?
Well, it was Sister Katie for sure,
Okay, shout out to Katie.
and then her other sister Amy.
Hey, Katie and Amy, love you guys. Yeah.
Well, I love them too.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, you're their embarrassing family member.
Oh, I'm the best one.
Yeah.
But anyway, please check out our YouTube channel. I linked to it in both from my Twitter or X, whatever you call it, and the show one. We'd really like to build up subscribers and listeners there. Go to our website, www.wrongabouteverything-podcast.com.
Hey, who made that?
More about that later. We also want to direct you that if you have any legal necessity, please go to our friends at Bradshaw and Bryant. Their entire team of attorneys and staff is dedicated to providing the legal advice you need, combined with the service and personal attention you deserve. If you have questions about how they can assist you with a personal injury, wrongful death, or criminal defense matter, do not hesitate to contact them. Consultations are free. Please contact them at 800-770-708 or at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Yes.
So,
Oh.
hot mics. So, what had happened is that all the way back when Joe Biden was running for president.
I'm pretty sure that never happened.
It feels like a fever dream at this point.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, well, neither does he. I promise you that. But he had agreed to two debates with President Trump, former President Trump, and the first one happened. Y'all might remember that one, where he kind of
I don't recall.
rumbling, stumbling, bumbling through it.
How'd that go?
It did not well. I would say not well for you guys, but it probably worked out just fine.
I'm thinking it
but
went well.
Inexplicably, this is what part of why I'm beginning to fall into the camp of people who think that the DNC and the Biden people did an inside hatchet job on him, because where our first topic today is coming from is that the Biden people had demanded in that first debate
The microphones be shut off.
the microphones be shut off, which didn't allow Donald Trump to sound like Donald Trump, which is interrupty and rude
Right.
and all that stuff, but did allow Joe Biden to sound defective and worthy of removal.
That makes him sound like he's at the Island of Misfit Toys.
Well, he's If he's there, no one cares.
No, he's just we just took his keys away.
Yeah, no, which is the right thing to do.
Which is the right thing to
but
do for the
also it's
country
like,
and for
well,
democracy.
everyone was trying to tell us that he was fine for a while. But you know what? We're so far past that.
Yeah.
I can complain about that because that's all I have.
But what I love about this story that we're talking about now is that so Harris people, like in negotiations, they want the hot mic now, but they also know that Trump's people are now really invested in the mics being off, and they suspect that these advisors are not being clear with Trump about that. And so then they make a big deal about that, which gets media to ask Trump, which then gets Trump to say, well, sure, we should have the mics on. Let me
well,
be Trump.
here's the thing. At no point ever, other than maybe in between the time of the first debate and Trump, the assassination attempt, during that small window of time, Trump seemed like a very dangerous politician. Dangerous in like not the way that Javier would say, but dangerous because he had learned discipline. So it seemed. Then once he got shot, all that went out the window. But I don't think that Trump is all that concerned with anything that he might say on the hot mic. He probably wants to make sure that everybody hears every quip and thought that he has. So I mean, I think this is something that the Harris camp is being smart on, though. I mean, and this is something that you guys all lived through 2016 when people were spiking the football way too early. It's feeling a little football spiky right now, and I think that you guys went through that, so I don't think you're going to be exactly as whatever the right word is. But also, I think that Kamala is not as skilled a person in the political arena as Hillary was. So she does have, the more she does talk, the more chance there is that she's going to say or do something that's going to turn people off for sure. But on this point, I'll let you finish. But on this point,
let me finish. I haven't started.
Well, good. I'm going to let you start.
You mean you'll stop talking?
Well, hot mic. But anyway, on this, I think that the Harris camp is being very strategic.
Yeah, no, they're absolutely being very strategic. And I think the difference, like, yes, that happened in 2016, and the difference between 2016 and 2024 is that because of the space-time continuum, we are aware that happened in 2016. Yeah, and so like I just got a text from my friend, the lieutenant governor.
Oh yeah,
who was just in Rochester, kicked off a door knock at 2:30 p.m. in Rochester with 50 people. There's like incredible, like people are not taking stuff for granted this time around and working their asses off, and that is literally a refrain that you just hear Democrats saying to each other. It's like, "Yep, did you sign up? Because we got to work this time." And you're seeing it in poll numbers and in, not just sort of the excitement, but I think they're being incredibly smart in the way that they are taunting. They're just cornering Trump into, like, he keeps falling into traps. It's hysterical, and I think like that this Kamala is the Kamala Harris that I remember from her Senate run. This is the Kamala Harris that I remember for when she was in the Senate. That she became this weird caricature when the Biden people were hiding her from the public. But I mean, the campaign so far has been excellent. I think it's hard to say that it hasn't been good to great, for sure. I think that they haven't been tested yet, and they haven't had that first speed bump, and then you got to see how they react to it. But I mean, it's all about turnout on your side. I mean, I don't think that there are people that were voting for Trump that now are going to vote for Harris. I think there were people who weren't excited about voting for Biden that now are more excited to vote for Harris. And I mean, that's what the Harris people and what you guys have to keep doing, because I in this polarized society, I just don't think there are people that are saying, well, I was going to vote red, but now I'm voting blue, or I was going to vote blue and now I'm voting red. I just don't see that. It's all about do you get your people out to the poll? No, and what we're seeing, there's stories this week about that voter registration is is through the roof in demographics that are, like women, young people, people of color, are like black women among young black women, registration is up more than 175%. And
You can't have more than 100%. This is why we know that this is being stolen.
That's how many people are signing up. They're doubling the rate. But like the person doing the numbers is like, you're right to repeat the number because I more than triple checked it. It's incredibly unusual to see changes in voter registration that are anywhere close to this. I mean, there might be 175% is almost tripling of registration rates among this specific group. You just don't see that sort of thing happen in elections normally. So like that's why suddenly like North Carolina's back on the map, Georgia's back in the map. Like there's recent polling out of Florida that has Kamala down 3 points in Florida. And Florida has become very difficult terrain for Democrats. But if Donald Trump has to spend money in Florida, then we're doing well. That is a good thing. And he's selling NFTs. Right.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, I don't actually know what they are either. Like, I mean, they're just it's like you get an email.
It's artwork, right?
It's artwork that you own, but it's digital. But then you buy 15 of them and they send you a real one. And then there's some of them that are going to be signed or something. It's like a whole pyramid scheme level of a thing.
It's like Bitcoin. I mean, but less.
He's super into Bitcoin now too.
Yeah.
He's like, some people are calling me the Bitcoin president.
Well, I don't know. Okay, that's great.
But some things are going well for him. He's added 2 batshit crazy people to his transition team.
1.5. I don't think Tulsi's all the way crazy.
Oh no, Tulsi's more batshit than RFK.
No.
We just haven't heard about the worms in her brain.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No.
Well, anyway, so the RFK dropping from the race didn't surprise me. Supporting Trump kind of did. I don't think that RFK was the place that people went when they didn't want to vote for the Republican or the Democrat. I don't think that the RFK people are saying, okay, well, RFK said vote for Trump, so now I'm gonna. So I don't know that that's going to move the needle very much. I think, frankly, Tulsi Gabbard might be able to lure some of the reluctant Republicans or reluctant libertarians that don't consider themselves real Republicans. She has a lot of cachet and sway with those people. So it's interesting. I mean, the Republicans are going to say, okay, now that these are 2 big environmental lefties, they're going to be able to kind of do outreach to
who's 2 environmental lefties?
Well, RFK
and Tulsi.
In the article, they said,
please,
according to where is it?
Yeah.
USA Today.
Yeah, she was super in it.
In any event, but I think that even if they were to reach out to those groups, Trump's going to respond with drill baby drill, and then they're going to go back. So right. I think that once again, if this is a turnout election, I do think that Tulsi helps with some of the people more on the right who didn't want to necessarily vote for Trump. But I don't know that it's anything that I can think that's going to move the needle significantly in Trump's favor.
And I think that those people, I mean, I just think about like when I was last on Almanac, and we're going to be on Almanac this Friday. But I was last on Almanac, I was on with what's his name? Fritz Knack, who in his day would probably have been considered like not a fire breather, right? A moderate-ish person. And he like the next topic we're going to discuss, someone who might or might not be related to our website.
Yep.
Is like, I think there are Republicans who I see just like trying to find some way to justify sticking with someone who they've previously said they would never support, or who they and who I know they know is dangerous, but because they'll and the way they justify this I mean, and when you and I have fought, it's because I feel like because the way you feel good about your party is to focus on all the ways that you think that we made you guys do it.
That's all I got. No, so what Javier is discussing is that friend of the program, Justin Greggy, who is more than a friend of the program. He designed
our website, and we're very grateful.
We're very grateful,
and thank you. And also, I'm about to shit talk the hell out of you.
Javier's going to shit talk the hell out of him, but Amy and I, he's not just a friend of the program. He is our friend. This was a big swing and a miss, and I think it is indicative of a larger problem that kind of the online Republican,
the Minnesota Republican in particular,
it
seems, cannot figure out a way to attack Tim Walz.
Well, you know what? You don't have to. Here's the thing. And I'm going to give you your time, I promise. You don't have to attack Tim Walz, because right now, I mean, they are deifying him in a very, very skillful manner, one that we are not going to be able to stop. Eventually here, remember, at the end of the day, people only kind of care about the VP.
Exactly.
If you just let this play itself out, they're going to stop talking about Walz pretty darn soon, and then they're going to go back to Trump and Kamala. And why Republicans are and this is something that I feel very confident saying, that there are inexplicable fibs, not lies outright, but fibs that come from the Walz camp that are unforced errors. And yes, Republicans should be trying to exploit those. Some of those are obviously more significant than others. Trying to say that he's fibbing about what is his dog on Twitter is pretty silly, when really the only thing we have, hey, closed circuit to Republicans, we have one thing. It's Israel. That's all we have. We're going to talk about it a little bit later. That is the wedge, the divide in the Dems is there, and pretty much there only. But if you think scoring points on Twitter in the Republican or the Democrat echo chamber, if you think that's going to move the needle, you're 100% wrong.
And what we're referring to, right, is Justin Greggy, Minnesota Republican. He thought he had found, so he's done all of these things. It's been a series of things about Tim Walz said, said he did this, and then it's it wasn't exactly that. And the latest one, he's like, well, here's a picture of Tim Walz with his dog Scout, and here's a picture of another dog, and that's not Scout. So they're lying about their dogs. I mean, it's just so freaking dumb.
And what it was Tim Walz was at a dog park.
Yeah, where dogs tend to congregate.
The dog closest to Tim Walz was not Scout, but Scout was there.
Yeah, because
Scout was there.
Scout was there because it's a dog park, and you generally go to dog parks so that your dog can hang out with other dogs off leash. That's kind of the point. Maybe they don't have these in Wright County, because dogs just wander around without leashes probably. But out here, where we have dog parks, that's sort of the point. And so it's so bananas that anyone would think that is actually a scandal. And so he's been roasted. My favorite thing about his reaction is that, I think it was today, he tweeted, "I am happy to report that the left's attempts to cancel me have backfired badly." I'll say two things to that. One, thanks for admitting that what you're doing is searching for clout. It's weird clout to get, because he did seriously increase his follows, but let me let you in on a little secret, baby boy. We're not trying to cancel you. It's really, really fun to make fun of you. Everyone's having so much fun. We're on day 3 of press about this because it's so damn dumb. No one's trying to cancel you. You're the best representative of the Republican Party that we have in Minnesota these days. So please stay
Royce
on.
White.
Huh?
Royce White. Don't you enjoy Royce White more?
Okay, fair point.
Oh, things are so terrible. Oh my God.
Fair point.
Oh my God. Okay.
I will lose that argument.
Yeah.
I agree. Keep keep tweeting, keep talking. That's awesome, because the thing is that I will also point out, and this is a serious point to make, right? That way back in the day when when Donald Trump was indicted for mishandling classified documents, Dustin Greggy tweeted back then, "This is the last straw for me. If I'm not voting for Donald Trump if he somehow becomes the nominee, this exceeds all levels of partisanship. I tried hard to look past the glaring red flags in the name of advancing the ball down the field, but this is overwhelming incompetence." That's what he said back then. But of course, he now he's firmly with Trump, because there are. Look, I love you, Amy, but your party has gone freaking crazy, and this is what's left.
We're kind of like the Marvel universe. This is kind of a low point. But here's the thing too. I mean, for all my Republicans that are mad at me right now because I'm not rah-rahing, better days are ahead for a lot of different reasons. But one of the things that's going to happen now is we're going to move past Scout. We're going to move past Walz. We're going to, and there's going to be a lot more Kamala having to speak on behalf of Kamala. She's not great. I think that she is going to be the Republicans' best weapon. I don't wish for there to be further conflict in the Middle East, but I think that whether it's in the Middle East or here at home, I think that is a hill that a lot of people want to, I don't want to say die on, but this is where people are going to focus a lot of their energy. And
I mean, there's a reason why Donald Trump is advising Bibi Netanyahu to not accept a ceasefire, because the war works well for her.
Well, and because it puts Kamala in a really bad position, because she has to this point really supported what the Biden position is, and the Biden position has been is that Israel has a right to defend itself. She is adding the caveat, but how they do that matters, and I think that anyone who has a heart and two eyeballs sees it does matter how you defend yourself, and we're going to have different opinions on where those lines are, but that is the real policy. It's not the border. All these things doesn't mean that they're not important, but they're not wedge issues. Israel, Hamas, Palestine, that's the wedge issue, and all of this stuff about whether Walz said this or meant this, or whether what J.D. Vance does on a couch, or whether he's wearing eyeliner or whatever it is, that stuff doesn't matter. But the stuff that does matter is coming up, and people need to be able to skillfully articulate not just their own personal opinion, but the personal opinion of the Republican Party, if they're trying to have any hope of gaining any ground. Right now, the momentum is solidly with Harris and Walz, and they have done, as soon as Biden had dropped out, there haven't been real fumbles there. So these things might be fun to do on Twitter, but they're only playing to the people who have made up their mind one way or the other, and we should stop.
So our producer had a question, and then I want to move on to the next awesome Republican, Minnesota Republican. Do you see RFK and Gabbard's move to the right as indicative of deeper discontent with the direction of the DFL? So one, I would take issue with the premise of the question. I don't think RFK and Gabbard have moved right. I mean, I think RFK himself is all over the place. Is all over the place, and he's where he's moved to is conspiracy theory land. That's where he's moved to. So it's more indicative, like in his case, of a deeper societal problem of people who become either red pilled, or in his case, just sort of he's I would love to. I can't wait to see RFK and Donald Trump campaign together, where we can make the case to suburban women that Donald Trump has promised to deny funding to any school that requires vaccination, and that RFK is against all vaccinations, because that is not a popular position amongst suburban moms. And Gabbard has been right for a very long time. It's not a move to the right. She's been as soon as she got to Congress, she was more like a wolf in sheep's clothing when she first ran. But she's been she's a Hindu nationalist. She's aligned with Modi's party in India. She has loves dictators the way Donald Trump does. Has for a long time. Assad in Syria, just like was a defender of his and met with him. RFK does have the Kennedy name, but literally every one of his siblings will be campaigning with Kamala, saying, don't listen to our brother with the worm in his brain. So I think we're fine.
And he killed that bear.
And he killed that bear, and he thought he would preempt the story by recording himself telling Roseanne.
Yeah.
Roseanne. And even Roseanne, who is also Cocoa Puffs, was like watching him like, oh, okay, this sounds weird. Like when Roseanne.
Why did I agree to do this week?
It's a good question. Well, let's go on to the next.
Let's move on. The next one's got to be better, right?
Yeah, that's got to be better. Hey, Nisswa Mayor John Ryan will face a challenge in this fall's election from a woman well known for her role, where? In the state Republican Party. Former Minnesota GOP chair Jennifer Carnahan, reading from a news story from lptv.org, Lakeland Public Television. Former Minnesota GOP chair Jennifer Carnahan, who has lived in Nisswa since 2022, has officially filed to face Ryan in the election in November. Carnahan was the first woman or woman of color to serve as a major party chair when she took the role in 2017. She resigned in 2021 after allegations she ignored sexual harassment claims by members of her staff and created a toxic work environment. And she also had to step down after her friend and GOP donor Anton Tony Lazaro was arrested on federal sex trafficking charges. So it's an impressive resume for local government.
She also took money from her dead husband's.
She also took money. She also wished her husband dead in a voicemail that was recorded by someone, like a drunken voicemail.
No, she's a
terrible human being.
She's a disaster, and this is someone. I don't know Mayor Ryan up in Nisswa, but
if you're a listener and you are in Nisswa, please reach out to us, because I think there aren't many moments of actual bipartisanship. Mm-hmm. Like on this podcast, we don't come here to agree. We don't come here to get the mushy middle. But in this case, Mayor Ryan, I suspect wrong about everything, might door knock for you, all of us.
That's possible. Here's the thing too. She's allowed to live her life. She lives in Nisswa. She has a business in Nisswa. I'm not saying that anyone needs to.
It says she moved there since 2022. Yeah. Didn't she have a business there for a lot longer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She has a boutique.
She had one down here too. So I'm not saying don't buy her stuff. I'm not saying do any of that stuff.
Does she dress herself from that boutique? Do you think?
I don't know.
That'd be interesting to know, because she wears sequins to the airport.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Hey, you were wearing that jacket.
It was not to the airport.
No,
I was at a wedding.
Well, you look good.
I'll say
that. You look good.
You'll see it on my Instagram if you follow me on Instagram. I went to a wedding this last weekend where the dress code was create a black tie, and I wore something so spangly that John Stiles he doesn't like that I told people this, but he was like, oh, that might be a little much. And I was like, it said create a black tie, and it's a queer wedding. Come on, like if it's a queer. Also, the wedding invitation was a literal disco ball. And I'm like, if it was a literal disco ball, I'm like, you can't be offended if I show up looking like a mermaid.
I support it.
It was a dope jacket.
It was a dope jacket.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
but anyway, so don't vote for Jennifer Carnahan.
Yeah. No.
And then the last thing before we go to plugs.
And John Ryan, I was kidding. I'm not going to door knock for you, but we might send a check.
Maybe.
Yeah. No, we can send it. Can we send a check from our account? Yeah, corporations are people now.
Well, but you can't send an individual. We can send it to like a super PAC. If there's a John Ryan super PAC, let us know, and we can make a donation, not run afoul of the FEC. Senator Mitchell, the cat burglar was finally in court today, where she pled.
Surely she pled guilty.
No, she pled not guilty. And this is something that
This is the cat burglar.
this is the cat burglar. If you remember, she's a state senator from the Woodbury area, and she got in her car, drove to her stepmother's home in the Detroit Lakes area, and broke into her house. Allegedly had stolen some things, though I think that the prosecution now is saying that she did not steal the old lady's. That was mean. I don't know why I said it that way. Her mother-in-law's stepmother's laptop, but she did break in. There's all kinds of weird stuff about what happened there. She says she's pleading not guilty. Everything that we're hearing kind of in the political class is that Senate Majority Leader Erin Murphy is getting a lot of pressure from her own members to try to resolve this before they go back into session in January. And I suspect that if Senator Mitchell has not resigned by then, or there are methods of making her leave the Senate, but they're sticky and they're difficult. That this will be there will be challenges to Senator Murphy's leadership there. So this
So
does
is that
matter.
what you're hearing, that Senator Murphy's being pressured to either get rid of her or that her leadership will be challenged?
I've heard that there are 4, and I'm not going to.
I've heard there have been rumblings.
Yeah, I'm not
of
going to say
challenge,
names.
but I didn't know that was one of the.
Yeah, but I had
issues.
heard 4 specific names, and they have a 1-vote majority there.
Right.
So 4 would be more than enough to upset the apple cart there. I don't. No one's saying, well, we're going to become Republicans, but there would be probably an internal change. And with everything that's going on with the, if Tim Walz becomes vice president, and if Peggy Flanagan then ascends to the governorship, and then there's all kinds of maneuvering that's going to be happening in that caucus. So making a change at the top would be unpleasant for them, but not impossible. Plugs.
We will be. We will be on Almanac.
Yes, you and me.
Yes.
Not
tomorrow.
Amy.
Yes. Yeah, because Amy's at the.
Well, she'll be
Jet
back. She'll be
set.
back by then, but not on Almanac.
She'll be back by then. This is just like
It was just
she just took off in the middle of the week.
Little jaunt.
Commitment to the podcast.
Little junket.
Little junket to the You guys make too much money off of Democrats. You know that. Yeah, you know that.
Define too much. Please don't. She'll be back by then. She can watch us.
She can watch us. Yeah, so we'll be doing that. You got anything else? Nothing else to plug.
Let me see what else I got. Every Tuesday, Amy and I are on the BS Show with Bob Sansevier. You can find it at thebsblog.com. Javier said that he and I will both be on Almanac Friday night at 7 p.m. I also, another important thing on Friday is my wife's birthday. So happy birthday to Jenny Beerline.
Happy
And then
birthday,
also
Jenny.
today was Lady Sarah, my youngest child's first day of high school. So that was, I think, more exciting for me than for her. But
So we have gone far past the grace period that I gracefully extended to our Minnesota listeners.
with a lot of grace.
With a lot of grace. I said, I will not be calling you dicks because we were on hiatus and we came back, whatever. But we're now back. We're now fully back. We're now providing content. We're on YouTube. We're on whatever. So the point being is if you can afford it, throw a little bucks our way. Patreon.com/wrongaboutEverything podcast. If you cannot afford it, does not apply to you. I always feel bad when people are like, I have 4 kids. I'm like, it doesn't apply to you. No, don't worry.
And remember, always, this money does not go to us.
It does not go to us.
Purely, we use this for production costs and things of that nature.
Yeah.
None of this is ever. We've never taken a dime for our own.
I think we paid for our breakfast, our reunion
at
breakfast,
least like once.
Our reunion breakfast when we were coming back on the air. But that's a good expense because
because it brought us back. But
brought us
yes,
back.
we would love if you were a patron and you stopped during the hiatus. We'd love to have you back.
Yes.
If you've always said, as many of you did, if you guys come back, I promise not to be a dick.
more of you said that.
A lot of people said that.
More of you have said that than have actually come back.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that's kind of even more dickish.
Kind of.
If you told us you'd do it,
Do
came
we
back.
have a double dick category?
Yeah.
We don't want don't be a double dick.
Yeah, no, you're a chode.
Is that like an NFT? I don't.
No, look it up later.
Yeah.
Kids, don't look it up.
Don't look
Patreon.com/Wrong About Everything podcast. Thank you. Spanks and thanks. You want to go first, or
I can go. Yeah. I can go. Okay, so my spank is going to be to the DNC. The DNC, and I was surprised. I didn't recognize that this was going on as it was happening, but as I said earlier, kind of the discord within the left is around Hamas, it's around Palestine, it's around Israel, and the DNC kind of told the uncommitted movement to kind of just be quiet and not cause waves. There were sit-ins. There was a lot of upset people from the uncommitted movement that were saying that a Palestinian American speaker should be allowed on the convention stage. That was not allowed, and the reason why I spank it obviously is just to raise the issue more than anything, and to almost close circuit to Republicans. This is what we need to keep an eye on. But also, if you're on the left, and you're proud of your position, you should say it. You should fight for it. It shouldn't be something that should be swept under the rug while we just wait for Donald Trump to say the next outlandish thing. So this is something just everyone keep your eye on it. And Republicans, this is what would actually move the needle. And then my thank is going to be to Brittany Griner. This is a little bit of old news, but we've just had other stuff pop up, so I haven't been able to bring it up. Brittany Griner is a WNBA player. She was somebody who was part of the not standing for the national anthem kerfuffle, but then also spent 10 months in a Russian prison when they found a vape cartridge that had cannabis oil in it. She played for the USA Olympic team, which got gold in France with Amy. And reason I'm thanking her is because she really has kind of embraced. Not that America's perfect, because we know that it's not, but she said that America fought for her, and that she is happy to be representing them. And I think that these are nuanced positions, but I think we don't have to be all one thing or another. We can criticize our country while also recognizing that we have unprecedented freedoms compared to other countries, and that even people who are in marginalized communities now really should be looking at America, saying that there's always an opportunity to improve things here in a way that there is in other places. So I'm just highlighting that Brittany Griner was very vocal, and I think she said it means everything to her to be able to represent the United States of America. And so because I criticized her then, I'm going to also praise her now for her change in attitude.
It's not a change. You said it yourself. You said it yourself in the middle there that these things, like one can be proud of one's country and still want it to do better, which is what.
I don't think that was her position.
You literally said, okay, so you're taking back your thing.
I'd say that you can, Chris, but before it was all criticism. Now it's not.
Okay, whatever. I'm gonna
You're wrong.
I will join the spank on the DNC not allowing a Palestinian speaker for slightly different reasons. I will say, I actually so I was at the DNC and there was a lot of talk about from the stage and a lot of the coverage about how happy people were, the joy and I think and that was absolutely true, and there's also just to the point that we kind of started talking about that people are not taking Democrats are not taking things for granted, and I think along those lines, people are I think there was just a very big general awareness that when you go to a convention is a 4-day commercial for your party. I've been to prior conventions when people like, and I was like, look, this is not a governing body. It is technically a governing body. It is technically the body that nominates the president. But really, this is a show. And so when they pass you a sign, you wave it. When the crowd chants whatever they chant, chants USA, you chant USA. And I think there was just general awareness of that. I think what was going on, what I know folks were told, and I do believe this, right, is that we know that in real time, and it's continuing, there have been negotiations about a ceasefire, and they erred on the side of not because we know that Benjamin Netanyahu is already using any excuse to not accept a ceasefire, and I do put this entirely on him, is that that they didn't want to give him any excuses to hold things up, and I think that they were, in the interest of trying to actually get the ceasefire. I don't know if they'll actually get it because, like I said, he has no desire for it, and Donald Trump is telling him not to do it. That doesn't mean I agree with the decision. It just means I think there was a logic to it. I still think could have happened. It could have been done. The Palestinian American delegate from Georgia, State House representative from Georgia, read her speech. She endorsed Kamala Harris in it. Like that would have been a sticking point. So I think it was a missed opportunity and a mistake. But also, there was, both things are true. That was happening, and there was like enormous unity at the.
And not to step on it, but did you think it was provocative to then allow the parents of the Jewish person who is being held hostage there?
I think there was deep pain from Palestinian friends people I know that, like, why can we only hear empathy about Palestinians in the voice of an Israeli or a Jew? Because like there was just a feeling of like we are being dehumanized. Like we literally can't be we can't be dealt with as human beings, and we can only be seen through the lens of Israel, and the lens of a Jewish person who is who has been kidnapped, who is one of the hostages. I do think that speech was extremely well received by everyone. I think but it's not the same, right? It's not the same to have a Palestinian person speak about the genocide that's happening in Gaza and have a Jewish person express in an Israeli. I don't think they're an American family, but their son was in Israel. I don't believe they're Israelis, citizens. But that was the only way you can hear empathy on them. But so that's joining that complex spank. And my thank is to Tim Walz, because he reminded me this week of a very important task that I've been putting off, which is to clean my gutters. It's coming up in the fall time, and also install those. I didn't know they were called helmets, the gutter helmets.
I don't think they are.
I think there's a brand name.
Leaf Guard.
Leaf Guard, yeah. But there's a brand. He was referring to a brand name because when I looked up, because actually it trended. So when you look it up, but
maybe that's what they call them in Nebraska.
But yeah, Gabe, can you play that clip?
So what's your take?
My take is the most neglected part of home ownership is the gutters. It's personal for me.
100% agree.
I've had problems with gutters before. You get your basement wet, you get ice dams, causes a lot of problems.
It's not good.
No, it is not, but there are fixes. Now, the other dangerous thing is that when you live in Minnesota, fall's a great time of year, a lot of leaves. You got to get up on a ladder.
And they get stuck in the gutter. The leaves get stuck in the gutter. I've seen many a man fall off the ladder.
Many a man, seriously.
Many a man fall off the ladder.
But there's a fix. You can put a gutter helmet over the top of it.
A gutter helmet?
It covers it. It lets the water go through, keeps it out of your house. I see this all the time.
How often do you like looking at gutters?
I look quite often, surprisingly, because
Like
I kind
you're
of judge
inspecting.
it. I try not to be judgmental on people, but when I see a well-tended gutter, it says a lot about somebody. So,
What's better, a well-tended lawn or a well-tended gutter?
I'd go with the gutters.
100%. There's no doubt in your mind.
No, I think gutters are a big thing, that they really matter.
Where do you buy gutters?
The downspouts I bought at Menards.
Save big money at...
Menards. You're exactly right.
That's not
No,
the same.
I know,
That's
you're right. I'm not good
You
at
gonna
that.
leave me hanging like that?
No, you're right. Okay, you ready?
On 3.
Save big money at Menards. And keep your receipts, 11% rebates, but you got to send them in. It's a little bit of a challenge, but
We'd like to thank our new sponsor, Menards.
What's hilarious about that is Menards is owned by right wingers, like super right wingers. And so they are, I'm sure, crying, like, enjoying the cash influx they're getting from Democrats buying. But I gotta say, so it's from a show called Subway something. It's like, I think it's a YouTube TV show. Like,
I don't know. I mean, if you saw it, it looked like John Ralphio from Parks and Rec.
yeah, yes, it does. But it's the thing about I think part of the reason that people like Dustin, Greggy, and others have a hard time going up against Walz is that, like, that is actually genuinely him. Like, he's just that much of a goofball. I was in the residence once, and he showed literally everyone who was there that night the proudest thing. He would point to a place on the wall where our previous governor, Mark Dayton, had a painting that was like a Gauguin or something. It was worth like probably millions. Like, and he's like, and he points to the painting that he has there. He's like, "You like that? You like that?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You know how much I paid for it? $10. I paid $10 at a secondhand store. Doesn't it look great?" Like, he loves a deal. That's genuinely him. I posted that video, and a friend of mine commented, like, "I literally was just reminded that I have a rebate from Menards. Thank you, Governor Walz." Like, which was like the dad memes coming to life. So I am happy that he is. I have been saying to John Stiles for a long time, we need those gutter cover thingies, and he's like, "We don't need them. We have trees around," which is not even true. We do have trees around, but now I win the argument.
Well, if you had trees, they all got blown down this week, along with your fence.
I did.
Along with
My
your
fence.
Yeah.
Gone. A whole swath of fence just gone.
Chulo didn't get out, did he?
No. We had to put up that like a snow fence thing,
Yeah.
like a temporary. But that's not going to keep the dogs in.
Chulo or Scout or whatever you call him.
Chulo and Bonita, they're both there.
Okay. Well, with that,
Yes.
I am GOP strategist and always know which one is my dog, Brian McDaniel.
I am Democratic strategist and the Puerto Rican heat, Javier Murillo.
And we are
Wrong about everything. Take us away, Gabe.